Hey guys, welcome to the CO visit. Colin Zafke here, and always accompanied by my trusty coffee. How's everyone doing today? Happy Hump Day. If you see me kind of spiffed up, uh, we're going to be a little bit later going out as a family to a restaurant and eat every once in a while. Little treat we have, and my stepdaughters my oldest stepdaughters are treating me early, but they have the money right now from their job, and they want to give me a kind of a early birthday present. So my birthday is coming up in December 10th, and so they're taking us out to a restaurant, which is very nice. These are the kind of things, guys, that one has to earn in life. You earn people's love and respect, and I'm a person that I don't expect anything. I don't ask for anything. Anything I do is from my heart. But life takes care of you. Tell you a little story. When I met my wife, some 6 years ago now, and something that was, an event that would change my life forever. She's been an angel in my life, definitely. So I was already um, living over here where I am now. Wasn't really stable yet, but I, was here, and we started talking online. We met online, and it was through a page that, where you sell things. And I still had the pages from the city where I lived before, which was in Comayagua. Comayagua is in the north central, right in the center of the country. It's the ancient or the old former capital of Honduras is Comayagua, and then it transferred to Tegucigalpa years later. This is way, way back, hundreds of years ago. This happened. Comayagua is a beautiful city. Beautiful city. I loved living there. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Problem is, the wages for teaching over there are really bad, really low, super low. It's a kind of it's a hard thing because I love Comayagua so much. I really wish, or maybe someday in the future, when we get older, we can sell here, and I don't know what'll happen in the future, but I'd love to move back to that area. Well, my wife is from a town about 40 minutes, 45 minutes north, directly north of Comayagua, called Siguatepeque. And Siguatepeque also, I love Sigua. For short, we call it Sigua. Siguatepeque. Beautiful little city. Very organized, very nice city, very lively. Um, and the best part about Siguatepeque, the weather, the climate. It's very cold there, very cool. Lots of pine trees. It's a city of pine trees. And it's just all year round, has a very cool climate, rains a lot. I just loved it there. And in fact, in Siguatepeque is where the guy lives that I got my tattoos from. And he does a very good job. He got certified as a tattoo artist over in Spain, and then brought that back, and he has his diploma and all of his certifications on the wall. Very good artist, very professional. And that's how we met. I saw this post it was in Facebook, in this sales page of this woman, and she was very attractive. And she was asking for advice of where to get a tattoo. And interesting, to this day, she's never has. Never happened. I guess it just wasn't in the cards for her. We might do it eventually because actually we want to, instead of a ring, we want to get a pattern, both of us tattooed on our fingers here instead of the ring. So we've been tossing that around, and she also loves the symbology of uh, of the anchor and the wheel, like the ship's wheel and all of that, and the infinite symbol. So she wants to get something with that, a combination. But anyway, I saw that post and I just answered her, sincerely answered her, because I knew the area well and I knew this artist that I went to, and I recommended him to her and just gave her tips and said, be very careful, make sure this is something you're going to put on your body that's permanent, and you want to make sure that you know what you're getting, and before anything, ask questions to the artists, ask them what are their safety procedures, hygiene procedures, all of that stuff. You have to ask that stuff. It's your right. And of course, you want to prevent any type of infection or anything like that. So she answered me back, and it just started from there. It was just a simple, very sincere. I saw her, she was attractive, but I wasn't answering her because I was trying to like hit on her or anything like that. I sincerely wanted her to get directed in the right in the right direction. And then next thing you know, I get a message in Messenger, a little bit more personal, and then from there it just took off, and we started talking, and voila. Well, anyway, when things got more serious, and eventually I went over to Siwa to visit her, which from where I live is quite a jaunt. It was a whole weekend going over there. I met her and met her kids. My wife, Patty, has 4 children from her last marriage. And I met them, and I think her worry was how I was going to react to her having these children, and if I was going to want to start a relationship with her in that situation. Most men would be like, and be out of there. So I went back to my city, Juticalpa, and we kept talking, and the time came to basically, I said, okay, well, enough messing around, are we doing this? Are we doing this? I'm not playing around. I'm old enough, and I'm not playing with anybody, or I'm not playing with her emotions or anything like that. And I wanted to, have a serious relationship with somebody, and form a family again. And I said, if you're going to move over here with me, if we're going to end up doing this, I want you to bring your children, because I don't want anybody saying in the future that you left your children behind or you abandoned them to go with some, gringo or something like that. No, I'm not going to be the one at fault for that. We have to stay together, and you have to have your children with you, and we'll just make it work one way or the other. And that's the way it was. First of all, she did come over for a couple months with me by herself. She came over, first of all, for about 3 months by herself, just kind of scope out the situation. She was cautious. And then she was like, okay, we can do this. So then she brought her kids over. So the oldest daughter now is 23 years old. Then the next one is 21. Then we have a boy who's 16 and another girl who's 13. She's going to be going into 7th grade this next school year. And when they showed up here in Juticalpa, and I quickly became really aware of what their reality was. The 2 oldest girls had dropped out of high school in order to help their mom. And basically, what they did was, even though they were teenagers at that time, they would go with Patty into the mountains. They'd get hired to go cut coffee. They would cut coffee plants, and you'd pull off all the little coffee fruits by hand, and you go, these very rough terrains through these mountains, and you would do that from sun up to sundown, and that's what they did. Very hard work, very tough. Patty's very tough. And then you would have to carry these basically bushels of coffee down this mountain, and then you would get it weighed, and then they would pay you, and that's what you do all week. And then by the end of the week, then you would get paid at the end of the week. They keep a track. There would be like a supervisor, which in Spanish they call a capataz. and sometimes it would be him, or sometimes it'd be the engineer, the agronomy engineer that would show up. But they would keep a tally of how many pounds each day, and then at the end of each week you get paid. And that's how they were basically surviving at the time, until in Sigua, Patty got a job at a hotel, and she was then working there. But they did that for quite a while. So I was really sad. I was sad when they showed up, and I figured out, I found out that they hadn't finished school. And the youngest girl was not in school. And then the boy had failed fifth grade several times. And the problem was, now he was too old at that time. He was too old to repeat uh, elementary school grades again. So what we did was, I put them all, I told them, no, this is not going to happen. You guys got to go back to school. You have to finish high school. You have to finish your schooling. And so the two oldest girls, and the boy as well, they went, well, the two oldest girls went for 2 years. They went to a weekend class, a weekend course for 2 years, and they finished their high school. And they were able to graduate. And the boy went for 1 year with them, went for 1 year on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and he finished sixth grade. Once he finished sixth grade, then we could make decisions, because the problem was, at that time, we were basically looking at, either putting him in, going through seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, all these grades now. And he really was not getting it. Like, I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. He wasn't a very good student. Okay. So it just wasn't, you keep beating a dead horse, And what I noticed in him, because this is what parents should do, I noticed that he had a natural skill and a knack for mechanical things. He would bring home all these knickknacks and miscellaneous stuff that he found outside on the street. He would go find these pieces and stuff people threw away, and he'd come home and he put like a machine together, or a car, or a helicopter, and he would put a battery, and he'd do all the motor, and he would make this thing work. And then I had him like draw a schematic for it. I would say, I want to make a blueprint for it. Show me how that is. And then he would do that, just to kind of have him develop that skill that he had. And I would encourage him and tell him, that was awesome. That's great. Can you do this? Can you do that? And he would make these things. And so I started talking with my wife, and I said, in the future, he could be an engineer. He could be a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, anything like that. And so I said, let's stop wasting our time with high school, and let's get him into a trade school. And so here in the town that we live in, there is a mechanic school for auto mechanic, and heavy machinery mechanics, because we have an agricultural society here. So they also do courses on, how to work on, tractors and stuff like that. And it's a 3-year course, same as basically high school. It's like going to 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And the only requirement was he had to be 15 years old. So we had to wait. We waited 1 year. And then thankfully last year, we got him into that school. And right now he's just finishing up, I think December 5th, he's finishing up his first year at the mechanical school, and he's doing very well though. So the first year they see gasoline engines, the second year they see diesel engines, and then the third year they see the agricultural equipment, motorcycles, and then the rest of the year they do 6 months where they get sent to an industrial, either a plant or a mechanic shop, or these distributors that work with farming equipment and heavy machinery, and they go there and they work. They work for 6 months, basically voluntarily, and the company always gives them something. They always offer them some money to be there, symbolically, but they give them something. And then they have the opportunity of staying on. If they like the work that they do, the company will hire them on. That's what we have envisioned for him. So he's doing that now, and he's doing very well. and he's changed a lot, and he's matured. And there was a time period there where it was pretty dicey, guys. It was pretty rough. We went through that whole phase through his early adolescence, 12, 13, 14 years old. You're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do and all that kind of, it was rough. We had some pretty rough situations with him. That was really tough. And there was a couple of situations where it was actually my wife that wanted to send him back to Siwatepeque with his dad. But that would have been, I knew if we did that, we would never see him again. He would go down a bad path because his dad's a total deadbeat. He's a loser. He's irresponsible, and always treated them badly, treated the kids really badly, and my ex-wife as well, and never really gave him any importance or paid attention to him. And I knew that if we sent him there, so actually it was me who stepped in, because she was like making phone calls and she was like, I'm going to send you back. And he was crying. And I stepped in there and I said, no. I said, stop. That's enough. You're not sending him anywhere. If you send this boy back there with his dad, kiss him goodbye. He's going to end up in jail or dead, because he was already having lots of behavioral problems just because, the separation and divorce and not ever seeing his dad. His dad pretty much disowned him and didn't want to ever see him. He actually called us up one time and just said, I don't have children. They're dead to me. I don't want to see them anymore. You do whatever. And that was it. And they heard that, and it was very hurtful to them, all of them. So I've been pretty much all these years the closest thing to a dad for all of them. And I've been there for all of their important dates. I've been there for their graduations. I've been there to take them to the hospital. I've been there to, do everything with them. And I've earned that love and respect from them, and they've earned mine as well, because they are my children. I actually don't even like to say stepchildren. I just say children, because that's what they are to me. And so these are the fruits that we sow. So getting to the topic that I was going to talk about, that you saw in the thumbnail, and I also posted it on my community page. Guys, in this life, that's what we're going to be judged on. That's all our duty as human beings. The short time we're on this planet, living this absurd existence that we have. I've been reading Albert Camus, The Absurdity of This Life, and he's true. It's right. It's all about how we treat other people and how we help our fellow human beings. It's all about doing the right thing. Doing the right thing, regardless of what the personal cost is, regardless of what the sacrifice is, big or small. Always do the right thing. And you know what? Live and let live. Live and let live, guys. Life is too short to be controlling people. Life is too short to be shutting people out. Yes, we have to set limits. I understand that. Absolutely. We have to set limits. Sometimes we have to keep people at a distance. But you know what? We do that because other people are not able to live and let live. And as human beings, that's a big problem for our societies. We want everyone to do things the way we do things, and if you don't, and if I don't like what you're doing, and if I disagree with you, I'm going to cast you off forever. That's the JW mindset. That's a very American thing. And you know where that comes from? It comes from the old world, the European, especially the Slavic peoples. That's the people I grew up around, and a lot of the Finlanders, the Nordic peoples and all that. My grandmother was Yugoslavian. Before that, they immigrated over here. She was born in this country, still spoke the language Yugoslavian. Before that, all broke up after the war and all of that. They grew up during the Great Depression and those times, and they were like that. They were very, very, very intense people, and very if you did something I didn't like, then they would just not talk to you ever again. And that's how it was. So I can definitely see those traits that got passed on to quote unquote Americans. You left my church. You're not in my church anymore. I'm not going to talk to you ever again. If you voted for this person or that person, and I think you're wrong, we can't be friends anymore. We can't talk anymore. If you're a liberal, we can't have a friendship anymore. I can't talk to you. If you voted for Trump, I can't talk to you anymore. We can't. And you know what, guys? I've had this happen to me right here on YouTube. I've had other channels and other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that we used to talk and even collaborated. Now, just pretty much won't talk to me anymore. I've given my views here on my channel, but at no time have I ever said that, oh, we can't be friends anymore because you voted for Trump or this or that. If we do that, guys, we're acting just like we did when we were Jehovah's Witnesses. People are actually, for all intents and purposes, shunning, disfellowshipping and shunning people, family members, friends, because they voted for one side or the other, and they're not talking to each other anymore. Excuse me. I've seen now on YouTube all these videos now about, evidently in the United States. I'm so glad I live in Honduras now, and I'm out of that whole bubble. I've seen these videos, lots of videos coming up on my feed of families canceling Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they're shunning their family members now because they're MAGA or whatever. And it's like, how about this, guys? Just don't talk about it. Just agree to disagree and avoid that subject. Don't talk about politics. Same thing here. I gave my views. You guys know what I feel, and it's over. Done. Over. Move on. Now, I'm not going to sit here and for the next 4 years bitch and complain about the current administration. I did make my view clear that now that it's said and done, Trump won. He's the president. Whether we like it or not, that's the president now. He's the president. So we have to respect that office, just like in the military. We don't salute the man, we salute the uniform, the rank. We have to have some order in our society and some pride. So I know, guys, I know some people out there that all this stuff, oh, how can you show respect to a rapist and this and that? I know all of that. I know it. But you know what? It's not going to change the fact that he won. Nobody's going to contest that. No one's going to, it's over. So let's get over it. Let's get over it and move on now. And same thing with my Jehovah's Witness friends out there. And the same thing with many conservative Christians. Live and let live. Worship how you're going to worship. Worship your God, whoever that might be. Do what's right for you. Live your life the way you feel you should live your life. And your God wants you to live your life. Do whatever you have to do to live up to those expectations. And let each other person do the same thing. Let your family members, your friends, your neighbors, let them live their lives. Let them worship as they will. Let them believe what they will or not believe what they will. Why does that have to affect anybody else? You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. How do we get to this point, guys? Why is it now that disagreeing with somebody equates to casting them off for the rest of your life? We can never talk again. We can never be friends because you believe this. You believe in this ideology. You believe in that doctrine. You voted for this man. You believe in that God. You choose to love this type of person. You identify as this. Who fucking cares? Nobody's telling you you have to do it. And we should not be telling anybody else they have to do what we do. That's the part I don't agree with. And I never will. Do what's right for you. Live your life. Let me live mine. Let that guy live his. Let her live hers. Let that person make decisions about their body. Let this guy identify with whatever he wants to be. If he feels like he's a man, woman, or she feels like she's this or that, or doesn't want to identify with anything, or wants to fall in love with this person or that person, or whatever color flag you want to get behind. If that person's happy, if it works for them, if they have a stable life, if they have love, if they have acceptance, great. Do I have to agree? No. Do I have to like it? No. But whose place is it for me to even have to agree? Who asked me? Who asked you? Stay out of it. But you know what? That's no reason to shun somebody. That's no reason to block them out of your life or hate somebody. Everybody has the right to make their own decisions, regardless of what I feel, you feel, the next person. Each head is a world. So let them orbit and rotate the way they want to, and you do your thing. That's my message for today. Live and let live. So anyways, I hope that resonates with some of you guys out there. Let's just preach love. Let's just live it. Live love. And you know what? Christians, follow your Bible. Stop judging people. Get off your moral high horse and stop putting yourself in the judgment seat and obey your God. And what does your God command you to do in the New Testament? Stop judging. And he commands you to love your neighbor. That means love your MAGA neighbor. That means love your liberal neighbor. That means love your gay neighbor. You don't have to follow what they're doing. You don't have to condone anything. You don't have to live like they're living. If they ask you, you can say, hey, you do whatever you want, but guess what? I don't personally agree with it because of this, this, and this. But hey, that's fine. Whatever. We can still be neighbors. We can still be friends. But if you're asking me, I'm going to give you my opinion. Stop judging. Jesus said that many, many times. It's not our place. So I hope everyone's doing well out there. I hope your week is going well on this hump day. And I'll try to upload a few pictures from our dinner tonight, if you'd like to see it. If you do, let me know down in the comments. If this resonates, what I'm saying with you, let me know down in the comments as well. Okay. I saw a Jehovah's Witness that came on and commented and said that what I was saying was rubbish. And that you didn't escape. Your daughter didn't escape. Nobody escapes. And he said, I never experienced those things. That's typical JW mindset. Closed-minded, selfish. Just because I didn't experience it, nobody else did either, right? How dare you? How dare you? Don't put yourself in that seat. Don't assume to say that nobody else did. One thing I didn't tell you guys was that when my daughter came here, she literally had to escape. Her family would not let her, they were not going to let her come here to visit me because I'm an apostate, right? She had to leave the house at 3 a.m. undercover and walk about 3-4 blocks over to another house where she has another aunt that was never a witness, where they were waiting for her, and then her cousin took her on a motorcycle over to her boyfriend's house so they could go get the bus at 4 o'clock in the morning. There was a bus that left at 4 a.m. Yes, she did escape. There are families and there are people that will physically try to detain their family members from leaving the organization. Yes, sir, it does happen. Just because it didn't happen to you, keep your mouth shut. Don't you dare speak for everybody else. See you in the next CO visit, guys. Take care, everybody. Be nice to each other. And let's just all be good human beings. If you can. See you later.